Hey, what's up? This your boy Johnny Motor Mouth Entertainment. Believe that, man. We got my man Dionte Howard in the background, and he ready to do what he do, man. As y'all can see him on the screen, man. He ready to give it to you. Believe that. Credit repair. You know, it's something that is important to all of us, not just to us, to the family as well. You dig? And the knowledge behind credit. I think it's a very, very important uh, uh, thing when it comes to financial stability. You feel what I'm saying? And my man gonna give us the game. He been in the game for a minute. He not only helped hundreds of people, but thousands of people. So you got to soak up the game. I'm glad for him to be here on Black Mustard, able to spit what he got. You know what I'm saying? Because it's all about knowledge at the end of the day. And my man ready to give it to you, man. Give it up to my man, how about to say the White Howard, bro.
Yeah, please don't.
Hey, bro, I'm about to say the White Howard, man. Dionte
Oh,
Howard, man. Hey, for real, man. We might have to keep that in the cut. I don't know, dog.
nah,
Hey,
keep
but
that,
get
man.
up,
Let
man.
people see personality, man.
Hey, Dionte Howard, man. What's up, Dionte?
Not much, man. What's going on, brother? Appreciate you having me on here.
Hey, ain't too much, man. They ready to soak up the game, give what you got. You dig what I'm saying? So yeah, man. And we're gonna let you spit that right here, man. Like for the viewers out here, I just got my tooth pulled. My shit swole right now, but you know, we had to make that happen, man. You feel what I'm saying? Black Mustard, Credit Prepare. We got to get on to it. Credit Bullets, y'all know him in the city, do what he do. Dionte Howard once again, man. So we're gonna start off, man. How did you get started in the credit repair industry or the credit repair world? And tell us
Okay.
about yourself, my man.
All right. So first of all, my name is Dionte Howard. I was actually born and raised here in Killeen, believe it or not.
Mm,
I got started in credit repair because I was already into sales
right.
when I was working my normal civilian jobs before I was in the military. And I was pretty good at sales. And then I discovered credit repair through a mutual friend. And
Oh,
then when I learned the game, I paid somebody to teach me how to do credit repair. I took the initiative to go online and YouTube and Google more about credit repair so that way I could be very, very familiarized with what I'm trying to give out to the public. Because,
right.
it's really hard to give someone game if you're not 100% knowledgeable. You're never going to be 100% knowledgeable, but at least 98% knowledgeable on
Yeah,
what you're
yeah.
trying to feed the people. You want to speak with confidence or whatever the case may be, but I like to be confident in my craft. That's the reason why I was always selling so much and so easy because I was
Hmm.
always confident in my craft. So I learned that if you have good credit, which I did have somehow magically, I don't know, I
Yeah,
just paid my bills. I
yeah.
just said, okay, once I learned the game and I can show people that I actually have good credit, I can teach people how to really have good credit. You know what I
Well, you
mean?
know, a lot of people got good credit, but they say they got good credit. So what I don't like, some of these credit repair people, they claim that they can work with credit, but they don't got good credit themselves. So if I
Yeah.
can, people want to know out there, do you have good credit?
Yes, sir. If you must know my credit score, everyone, it is an 802. I had an 802 since I was 25 years old. And the
Okay.
reason why I reached that is because I disputed some inquiries off my profile and I was able to finally reach the 800s.
Right.
If you don't want to dispute it yourself, inquiries fall off every 2 years. But yeah, that's what happened, man. I just never had a late payment and
Yeah.
I had credit cards and I just
Right.
kept reusing them and then boom,
And you learn the game. So
learned the
you
game.
did your research, you learned the game, you dig. So you figured out, hey, I can help people out at the same time. It can be
Hmm.
beneficial, you know what I mean, to our culture, to our people, Uh I think a lot of people don't look at credit as being something important. You feel what I'm saying? But I look at it
Yeah.
being very, very important, especially if you need that lift right at that time. You dig, you
Hmm.
need that house, you need that car, you need that loan in case you're trying to start a business, things of that
Yep.
nature. So can you tell us how important is credit?
Okay, so obviously in our community, which you can
Right.
attest to, Johnny, that a lot of
Yeah.
people, especially when I was younger, like to show a lot of money. Like
Right.
immediately when people see money in cash, they think, "Oh, this guy is rich," which
Yeah.
isn't true at all. Credit is really power. Most people in America do not have good credit, but those people who do have good credit knows how to make those investments to make them rich and wealthy, aka breaking generational curses and building generational wealth. All right.
Okay.
So regardless if you have a business or you do not have a business, you should always want a good credit score so you can make the right investments. Like you can work a phone call center job and still be into real estate. But in order to be into real estate, you have to have a good credit score. Sorry. If you have a
Yeah.
good credit score, you can purchase you a property or whatever the case may be, whatever you're looking forward to doing. For right now, I'm just going to talk about real estate. You purchase you a property and then
Oh,
you build equity on that. And then over time, if something happens to you, you pass away or whatever, you pass it down to your seeds, and then it just keeps going that way. You know what
right,
I mean? So that's just one thing about credit. Obviously, you don't want to pay deposits on everything.
right,
Let's be real here. Like right now, we in inflation. I don't know about you or anybody else. I don't want to walk into a car dealership and I have to put down $5,000 to $10,000 just to get a
right.
car. Like that's just not. I'm not interested. When I know someone who has a good credit score can walk
Yeah,
in there and they don't have to spend anything and still get the car that they want. You know what I
right.
mean? With a lower interest rate. You know what I mean? So credit definitely saves you money. It makes your life cheaper because over time, people with lower credit scores that's trying to purchase the same thing as someone with a higher credit score, they're getting taxed more by the banks or the creditor, you know what I'm saying? Because they get higher interest rates. The higher your interest rate, the more money the banks make off of you.
Right.
And, the longer your payments are going to be on whatever you're trying to purchase.
Man, I dig that, man. So I definitely dig that, man. You can't, and not even just trying to what you're trying to purchase. It's
Hmm.
even about what your goals is. You dig what I'm
Yep.
saying? Setting yourself up as somewhat of having leverage. I think a lot of people don't
Hmm.
look at leverage in life. You
Hmm.
gotta always have leverage, and it's just not about credit score. It's just about life. Period. Anything
Yep.
that you deal with, whether it's business, what is anything personal, you have to have leverage. Just say my
Hmm.
health is bad. But if I got a little money to hold leverage, I might can talk to the right doctor to get me right. You feel what I'm saying? Just because
Bingo.
my boss fired me, if I have a little money saved, then I can be able to do something. Or just because I say, hey man, this business is not working, but I still got a good credit score, I can go to the bank or one of these credit unions and say, hey, I need a $50,000 loan. So it's
Yep.
all about leverage in life, and I think
Yep.
that's very important. And credit can help you out on your
Hmm.
side of leverage. You dig what I'm saying? So I appreciate that. But if I can ask you though, like, what is some of the common mistakes people make with their credit? Like if you say, hey, please do not do this. You know what I
Oh
mean?
yeah.
Please do not do
Yeah.
this. Hey, my guy.
Yeah, I got you. I got about my three top. Yeah, I got top three. My first one is late payments. Regardless if somebody's working on your credit profile or not,
Right.
try not to go over 30 days late. That's like the worst mistake you can do because once a late payment is on there, it's on there. Unless you magically get that off. I'm not gonna say late payments are easy to remove. They're pretty tough to remove. So once
Okay.
they're on your credit profile, man, it's gonna ding your credit report, and that's like the highest percentage worth on your credit because it's weighed in different scoring metrics. Late payments weigh about 35% of your total score. So one late payment can drop you 80 to 100 plus points. Yes, sir.
35% for what? Say that back on.
Oh, late payments weigh 35% of your total score. So
Oh,
one late payment can knock you out of the 700s and drop you down to a low six or high 500s. Like that's
mm,
how serious a late payment is. Yeah, once they see it, they're
yeah.
very, very particular about late payments too. Like they make sure they report that. Like it's very hard to remove that. Another thing, when someone is working on your credit profile, or if you applying for a house and you got pre-approved, stop running your credit for other things. Do one thing at a time. Most people like to run their credit so much that they don't understand that no matter how high your credit score is, if you have too many hard inquiries on your credit report, they're going to deny you. That's like a big thing. That's a big deal. Sorry.
Okay.
Another thing, stop maxing out your credit cards. If you're using your credit cards, use it for things that you know you can buy cash right then and there. So if I go to the store and I look at like a bag and I go, man, this bag is $100, but I don't have $100 on me right now, but I got a credit card that'll cover it. That
Mm-hmm.
means you don't deserve that bag. You don't need that bag because you're gonna do nothing but put yourself in more and more debt if you think that way. Oh, I got a credit card. I'm just gonna put it on my credit card. Put it on my credit card and eventually pay it off.
So
That's how you drive it. Yes, sir.
stop you right there. At the end of the day, you're saying watch how you use your credit card. You know what I mean?
Yes, sir.
The utilization of your credit card can affect that. So would you say credit card and the utilization of your credit card is very number three, right?
Yeah, yeah, that too. Yes.
Okay.
So the reason why I'm saying this is because me personally, credit usage is weighs 30% of your score.
Mm-hmm.
So a late payment and credit utilization total is 65% of your score, which is a credit card.
Mm.
Okay. So yes, maxing out your credit card will drop your score. So those of you who don't have anything hurting your credit report, like collection accounts, medical bills, repos, or whatever, but your scores are not high, the chances of that being is because your credit utilization is way too high.
What
So
if
yes.
I use my credit? So what if I use my credit card? I got a $5,000 limit on my credit card, right?
Hmm.
Let's say I use $3,000, but I pay back that $2,000, that $3,000 that I use, right?
Hmm.
Um, would that still affect my utilization, or would that still affect my credit card by the time that due date shows?
Yes. So basically, to make sure I understand the question, you have a $5,000 credit card limit, but you spent $3,000, is what you said, right?
Spend 3,000, but they say if you spend under 10%, you feel what I'm saying, that kind of helps your credit score if you stay with it. So my 10%
Yes.
range will be 500. If I get my credit card, if I spend 3,000, right, and I got a $5,000 limit, right? If I
Hmm.
spend $1,000, but before that late payment, or before when that time is due for my credit, for my payment, right?
Hmm.
If I pay 2,500 back, or 3,000, the whole 3,000 I spent, that doesn't affect my credit score, though, right?
No, it don't. And that's exactly what I was getting at. That's what I
Okay,
do.
okay,
So me personally, I stopped looking at my credit utilization because that goes back to what I was telling you. I only
mm,
swipe for things that I know I can pay cash right up front, if that
right,
makes sense. So if something costs too much, I'm not gonna buy it. It's called money management at that point. That's what
right,
that goes back to me telling you, like, don't drown yourself in debt. Don't sit
right,
here and say, oh, I'll pay it off next month, and you never do. And then you
right.
swipe it again, and then you go from a $3,000 usage to a $4,000 usage,
Yeah,
and then you're only paying like $50 towards it here and there. Like that's not. Don't do that. Is what I'm saying. So what you're saying is absolutely correct. So when I do that though, Johnny, I pay
yeah,
on the statement date. When you pay on the statement date instead of the actual due date, you
right,
avoid interest. That's how you avoid interest. So and then if you have a credit card like an American Express, that's my favorite one. I get reward points for every time I swipe my card. Those reward points turn into money. You know what I mean?
yeah.
So American Express, I got about almost 200,000 reward points. And if you turn that into money, that's about a little bit over $1,000 in money. It's free money right there, just sitting there.
Yeah.
So if you pay on the statement date and avoid interest instead of the due date, the bank is not making money off of you. And not only are you using your credit
Now,
card like a debit
for,
card.
for the listeners, everybody
Mhm.
understand what a due date is. You know what I mean? But
Okay.
what statement date that you
Okay.
right now? Let's get into that.
So if you guys look at your bill,
Uh
or
huh.
if you do electronic bill, which you should, electronic billing, you will see that the billing cut cycle date. It'll tell you what date your bill come out.
Mm-hmm.
And then you actually have the due date on when the bill has to be paid. So those are gonna
Right.
be two different dates. So me personally, I pay as soon as the bill is cut. As soon as the
Okay.
bill is cut, I pay it right then and there because I don't give it time to sit. I don't give it time to calculate interest as soon as it's cut. But if you do it to the due date, you letting it sit because now the bill cut date is like, say say if it's on the first, the bill is cut, but your bill is due on the 15th. That's 2 weeks of interest you just calculated. You know what I
Mm,
mean?
yeah.
So if you pay on the statement date, which is the bill and cut date, then there you go. Like you paying it immediately. You're not giving them a chance to accumulate. You know what I
Okay.
mean?
For the listeners out there, uh I think everybody who's listening right now, man, shouts out to the listeners on Black Muscle. We need to study what the
Hmm.
state is. You feel what I'm saying? If you're not understanding from him presenting it to you, I think that you need to study what the statement date is, because that seems like that is very important when it comes to your credit score. So, guys, ladies and gentlemen out there, please study the statement date. Please do that. And as we ask the questions, what is the common mistakes? My man mentioned late payments. Stop running your credit, right? Stop running your
Hmm.
credit, and maxing out your credit card, right?
Yes, sir.
The three things that he said is the biggest mistakes that you guys can make. So we want to watch that. But as we continue, I want to ask you this: is it important to check your credit on the regular?
Yes, I do. I personally check my credit score minimum every 2 days. The reason why you want to always check it is because, for one, you want to always make sure there's no surprises. I got surprised one time. Yes, me, a credit
Yeah.
bullies guy. I got surprised with a collection account one time. Something I
Uh-huh.
had no idea about. You know,
Right.
something about military affiliated. So I just so happened to check my scores and I seen it hit. So I made a phone call like, hey, what is this? Blah, blah, blah. And then it was
Yeah.
explained to me like, hey, military is trying to collect the debt. And I, you know, okay, cool. Just pay it, it goes away. But you want to check it because you don't want to get surprised when you go on car shopping or
Right.
home shopping because you thinking you in the 750s or 800s and they run your stuff you in the 580s. You don't know what's going on until you know because you haven't been checking. You already been assuming that your scores was good. You know, there could be identity theft too. You know,
Mhm.
people it's not hard to. Well, I ain't gonna say it's not hard, but people can like get information online. You know how people have their ways, so people
Right.
could be putting stuff in your name, or using your credit card information, and you don't know it because you're not checking your apps and your score. You're not watching your score
But
drop.
what I can say is a lot of people may hear like it may be a myth or it may not.
Uh huh.
But
Oh
they
yeah.
say bad thing to check your credit score on the regular. Is that true
No,
from your
it's not
knowledge?
bad at all.
Okay.
It doesn't drop your score either. I remember that. Yeah, checking your credit score does not drop your score. That was the biggest myth ever.
Okay.
I don't know where that came from though. Honestly, I really don't.
Okay.
But you can check your score as much as you need to. Download Credit Karma and download the Experian app. I gotta say a disclaimer real quick. Credit Karma are not your real scores. You have to download the Experian app to see your FICO scores. Just a little short history lesson. Credit Karma are Vantage scores. FICO scores are FICO scores. Most lenders use FICO scores. Mostly private student loan lenders use Vantage scores. So the chances of your score being 750 on Credit Karma and it being a little different on FICO is very highly because it's weighed differently. Credit Karma is just to give you an estimate roughly around where you're supposed to be at.
Oh, okay. So let me ask you this.
Hmm.
When you say that your FICO score, right? Your
Hmm.
FICO score, and then you say your check experience, right?
Hmm.
So what is different between your FICO score and your three basic creditors, such as what you say, experience.
Hmm.
What else? What's the next one?
TransUnion and Equifax.
Equifax. Okay, then.
Yeah.
Is that a
So
your FICO and them three bureaus?
no, so the three credit bureaus are the three credit bureaus. They're the same no matter what.
Okay.
But underneath the three credit bureaus is FICO scores or Vantage scores, but they all report to the three credit bureaus, which is Experian, TransUnion, and Equifax. So the only difference between the two is actually Vantage scores, which is Credit Karma scores,
Uh
and
huh.
FICO scores, which is the one that everybody uses to basically pull your credit.
So you
So
that people utilize your FICO score more than any other thing.
absolutely,
Okay.
absolutely. Because venture scores was only created by the credit bureaus because they was trying to find a cheaper way to pull you guys' credit report. Because when people use FICO, I think it costs money, and they try to save themselves money every time they have to pull it with the FICO scores.
Okay then.
Hmm.
So let me ask you another thing. So if you don't, I just asked you about checking your credit score, but
Hmm.
if you don't utilize your credit, does that affect your credit score?
Yes, over time it can. So if you have a credit card and you absolutely do not use it, and that
Yeah.
credit card has been with you, let's just say for 6 years total, but
Right.
you don't use it, eventually they're gonna either lower your credit usage over time or they're just going to close the account. When that account closes, it's no longer reporting to the credit bureaus.
Right.
So that means your 100% payment history, your 6 years of active history, all that stuff is going to disappear if you do
Right.
not use your credit cards. Credit cards is the only accounts that will close over time if you don't use it. Loans, on the other hand, they're going to close regardless once you pay them off.
So
So,
if I utilize my credit card, that don't mean that I have to go out and get the most expensive thing. I can get a piece of bubble gum at the store every now and
yes,
then,
sir.
breakfast taco, just as long as I get something to
Yes,
show that
sir.
I'm using the credit card, correct?
That's absolutely correct. Exactly what you said is exactly what
Right.
you should be doing. Yes, sir.
Okay. That's love. I respect that. So um if I could ask, right, and to the listeners out there, what is a good credit score? What would you want to be at? Like, let's say if I'm at a 500 or I'm at a
Mhm.
400, what is a good credit score I would want to reach, or what should be my goal if I wanted to be able to have access to the basics like house, cars, loans? What is the basic credit score that you would tell the listeners to try to obtain or
I
reach?
would tell everybody a bare minimum, like absolutely bare minimum, a 620. A
Okay.
620. Depending on your lender, some people do approve you for a 580, but it comes with a lot more stipulations than if you have a higher credit score. And that goes for car lots or home buying or whatever the case may be. But
Okay.
minimum 620. But obviously you want to go into that excellent range, and which would be 750 and above. That's how you avoid deposits most of the time and get lower interest rates. You know what I mean?
So 750 if you want to get to the get down.
Yes.
750. So if I got a 710, that's right in the range of a 680, stuff like that's when they start talking about loans and things of that nature. So if I get a 620, that get me the basic, but I still have to pay the extras, right? Like I still have
Basically,
to
depending on what it is. Yeah, basically.
pay, right.
It just all depends on what you buy.
So if I wanted to go get a car off the car lot, I'm most likely if I have a 620, I'm gonna have to pay a down payment, right?
So if you have a 620, you might
Uh,
not pay a down payment, but you
yeah,
might have a higher interest rate.
right, right, right.
So over time, you'll be spending more money
So this
versus
for not I don't want the bare minimum. I want to know what is the comfortable credit score that I should try to obtain for my family, for myself, for my significant other. What is not the bare minimum, but where should I want to be at when it
750,
comes to my seven what
750,
a
750
750?
and above,
Okay,
750 and above. Yep.
okay, okay. That's respect. I respect that. So 750 and above. Let me ask you another thing. So let's get into the process of dealing with Credit Bully LLC. Uh,
Hmm.
if I may ask you, if you take a client, if I was a new client, what is your process and how do you negotiate with creditors to be able to get these guys or these ladies credit score up to par? Like, what is your process?
So with Credit Bullies LLC, we look for the negative items on your credit report.
Right,
We try to dispute any and all inquiries that's not attached to an account, because if you dispute an inquiry that's actually attached to an open account, it can close out that account. And remember what I said about closed accounts, you
right,
erase their history like that, and you can either drop your score or yeah, it'll drop your score depending on the account. Our process though, we contact the credit bureaus contact the creditors. We use the FCRA guidelines to basically prove to us that this is reporting accurately on a
mm,
credit profile to try to get these deletions. Everything won't be deleted. I can't, we don't guarantee that certain items will be deleted, but there's a lot, 70% of consumers' credit reports have errors on there. So if we able to prove those errors, they have to remove those accounts off of the credit profile. That's
okay.
how it works. Hmm.
But what you try to do is you send it in instead of doing it online, right? So you have that.
Yes, I always mail it
So you mail it in.
in. Always
Okay.
mail it in.
I always
You can
mail it in.
fax it too, but you're more protected under FCRA laws and stuff if you mail it in. If you try to dispute it online, like Credit Karma,
So
you're not as protected with mailing it in.
when you say you try to when you go through FCRA, what is FCRA? No,
Federal.
you don't have to like call it out, but I'm saying what does that do? Like that is that a credit like is that a credit something through the government where I
That's
can
that's the laws of what they can and cannot do. That's
okay
the laws basically. Like you
the
got to
law
prove
all
in
right
a
okay
section like, okay, they're violating this right here. This
so
company is in violation of blah blah blah.
the guideline FCRA
Yes, yes,
all right
sir.
okay then all right so that's just kind of like the middleman between you and the creditors
Kind of like a study guide for me, as in I see
okay
this, let me it's right here. And this is why I'm having you remove this. I see this, that's in violation of this right here. This is
right
why I'm having you remove this. That's what the FCRA is for.
so what would you say to people who deal into like if they say hey I don't want to deal with no credit repair person I don't want to deal with Dionte Howard
Hmm.
I don't want to go through him. What advice would you give them peoples out there when they come to or when they fall in the hands of creditors? What would you tell them if you could
I will
give them?
always tell everybody, like, if you have collections and stuff, but you don't want to deal with a credit repair person, uh, Google how to dispute, or YouTube it. It's everything is online. Like almost everything is online. So if you don't want to pay somebody to do something, you could always do it yourself. Now, if
Right,
over time that account is not coming off, okay, start negotiating. Like, hey, Phoenix Financial, this account been on here for a while. How much do I have to give you for you to remove this account? I
right.
always try to offer a lower amount because when the third party collection agency purchase your debt, they're not paying full price for your debt. They're paying like a fraction of it. So they're just trying to make money off of you. So
So when you say okay, you what do you mean when you say they paying for a fraction of it? Who's paying for a fraction of it?
okay, so for example, let's say if I had debt with I'm just gonna throw a name out there, Navy Federal. That's a big topic right now. Let's say if I
Okay,
had debt with Navy Federal right now,
okay,
and they realize they're not gonna get this debt from me. Boom, a collection agency will reach out to Navy Federal or Navy Federal reach out to it. I don't remember. And
right,
then they'll go, hey, we'll purchase that $1,000 debt that Deontay had, but we'll buy it for $300. Navy Federal goes, sure, here, take it. It's their responsibility now. Now that collection agency, which I gave it a name, which is Phoenix Financial, that's the name of a collection agency. Now
mm-hmm,
it's no longer listed under Navy Federal. It's going to show under Phoenix Financial, and then it's going to say previous creditor, Navy Federal, and Phoenix Financial is going to come after you. So
yeah,
if they come after you, now
okay,
it's time to negotiate. Why would you pay them $1,000 when they bought your debt for $300? So now you tell them, hey, I'll buy it for you, offer you for I'll pay off my debt for $400 if you remove it. They're still making a profit. It's kind of like flipping their money, if that makes
right,
sense.
right. That makes a lot of sense.
All
Also,
you gotta do is negotiate.
we'll negotiate with you though.
Most of them, I can't say everybody will,
Most
but
of them will
most of
negotiate.
them will. Because they just looking to make money.
Okay. So how long do it take? What's the process of getting somebody credit fixed? Do it take a long process, a quick process? If somebody was saying, "Hey," or the listeners were listening to this podcast, they said, "Damn, I might want to holler at Dionte Howard to go to Credit Bully." How long would that process take?
So, like I tell everybody credit report is different. You know what I mean? So it all comes down to what the consumer is doing, going back to are they running their credit and stuff. Now it
Uh,
also comes back to me as well. Like, am I getting deletions? Because everybody's not going to get the same deletions. You know,
mm-hmm,
Johnny, you can say if you and I don't know, your brother sign up or something, right?
mm-hmm,
And let's just say I got 90% of the negative items off your stuff, but only 30% of the negative items off your brother's stuff, but y'all signed up at the same time and y'all finished at the same time. It all
right,
comes down to the what's on his credit report. Is the information on his credit report accurate and there's nothing wrong with the reporting, or whatever the case may be. So
right,
everybody's stuff is different. So that's why it's an investment. Obviously, like, hey, this is a chance you're taking, but this is why you got to shop with people who actually have a money back guarantee.
yeah,
Now, disclaimer: if your credit repair specialist does not offer money back guarantee, try to find a new one, because that means they're probably not ethical and trying not to, take
so
care
do
of
you
you.
offer that money back guarantee?
Absolutely, absolutely.
Okay.
At money back guarantee, if I don't get any items deleted, even if your credit scores go up and I still don't get items deleted, it's still a full refund, because obviously it don't matter what the scores is. I have to do my job, which
Right,
my job is to try to remove items. Even if you got a 700 score on your own by building your credit profile in the process, you still get that refund because I didn't uphold my end of the bargain, if that makes sense.
that do make a lot of sense, man.
Hmm.
And that's only fair. I think that when a person just give you like leverage like that, say, "Hey, leverage, I got. If your credit score don't jump, or we're not trying to get it to where I'm trying to get it to, or told you that I'm trying to get it to, or trying to get
Yeah,
it to overall," and you say, "Hey, that's your money back." You know what I mean? So you holding up to your word, and they let people know that you really know what you're doing.
hmm,
So people have to be able to give that comfort right there, and I like that, man. So
absolutely.
let me ask you this though. What is the worst thing to have on your credit?
An eviction and a repo.
Eviction and repo.
Yep. it's really, really hard to get a car if you have a repo on your credit report. And obviously, it's really, really hard to get a place to stay if you have an eviction. Those are like
Okay.
the two top worst things you can have on your credit report.
So the two top things to have on your credit report is eviction and repo, right?
Yes, sir.
Um, Anything else out there that you would say or
Mm.
tell?
Uh, I want sometimes I be wanting to say bankruptcy, but I know bankruptcy be actually saving people sometimes. So I
Right.
can't really say that one because I seen that way differently. But
Okay.
honestly, man, I think it's mainly just uh evictions and repos, and I guess for my military people, military star card. Because if you in the military and that goes into collections, you file your taxes, they're gonna take that money regardless because you're government property. So if you purchasing military type of credit cards,
So
they
have you ever helped somebody when it came to or got them to the next level when it came to their when they have got an eviction or a repo?
I have been lately. We've been doing pretty good with repossessions. I actually just got one deleted the other day. I just posted about it on the business page. But as
Okay.
far as evictions, I'm sorry, but those are like the hardest things to get removed because once you move into an establishment, they have all your personal information right there. Like everything they need on file to submit you into that place is like right there. So almost every time it's accurate. You know what I mean? So it's just I just tell people, hey, don't go into credit repair expecting to just this eviction just to fall off in 30 days or something. If it doesn't come off, you need to start offering them a pay for deletion, which goes back to what I was telling you earlier about calling them, offer negotiating and you know, paying off what you gotta pay off because
Okay,
yeah.
let's not mention this, man. You got a book out, right?
Yes, sir, I sure do. Right here.
Man, what you got?
I got a book about credit cards, everyone. This is called the Elite Credit Card Journey.
Okay.
Uh, it goes for anybody with any score. It doesn't matter if your scores are low, medium, good, or high. I got a credit card in here for everyone. The specific credit cards I'll talk about are one that's going to benefit you with reward points. That goes back to me telling you about reward points, how you can earn money from that. Uh, Depending on the credit card that you guys purchase, you can use it for restaurants and stuff like that. You get 4 times the reward points. Obviously, that points turn into money. If you keep using your credit card like a debit card over time,
Yeah.
paying on a statement date to avoid interest, keep doing that every month. That money just gonna keep on stacking up until eventually you're gonna be sitting there like, man, I could take a trip with this money. So yes, get you
Oh,
a credit card.
so it's important to get like let me since you mentioned that credit card, what is the best credit card you think?
Woo, man, there's a lot of fire out there.
So you
Uh,
three just was to say your top three. You dig? What would you?
uh, I'm going off rip. I'm going with American Express.
Mm-hmm.
I don't have this one yet. Chase Sapphire
Uh-huh.
and top three. This third one's gonna be tough, man. I can't even
What
say Navy Federal.
critic? What you call Capital One?
Capital One's good. One credit card I don't like, me personally, is Discover because they like to ask for your tax returns for
Okay.
whatever reason. So I personally don't like that.
Yeah.
That's being too nosy.
All right.
Yeah, I
So
don't like that.
that's what's up, man. So at the end of the day, besides preparing somebody credit,
Mm.
what advice do you have for individuals who trying to maintain um, good financial health?
Uh,
Besides, what would you
Outside
say?
of credit.
Yeah.
Money management, everyone. Trust me, money management will save your life. Live within your means. Don't live for social media. As in, no offense to anybody, but if you know you don't have it like that, don't try to pretend that you have it like that because you're gonna
Mhm.
be putting yourself in a hole for people who don't really care about what you got going on. Focus on yourself, stack your money. You should be trying to save money each paycheck. If so, if you're able, if you're not able, try to find a side hustle or start up something on the side or get a secondary job to try to find ways to fill up your bank account because you need money for a rainy day. You never know what's going to happen, but try to have money in your bank account in your savings or something, just in case an unexpected tragedy happens. you get a flat tire, or
Mhm.
you have to get a new car, but unfortunately you have to do a down payment. But you're able to do the down payment because you've been saving, money. Like my biggest thing is saving money. I always try to find a way to save money.
Right. Okay. Well, that's love, man. Well, we really appreciate you, man. To the listeners out there, man, you got a lot of knowledge. You know where to go. You know
Yes,
credit
sir.
cards to get. You know what not to do. You know what to expect. You know how to deal with creditors. I think he gave a lot of jewels, a lot of gems when it comes to this topic of credit. We definitely appreciate you. And man, we got to have you back. You know what I mean? This
Yes,
definitely
sir.
it's time, man. We're definitely gonna have you back, man. So to the listener out there, man, you know what's up. Get your credit together. Get your credit together. And if you need to get it together, just in case you need help, holler at my man, Dionte Howard, man, at Credit Bullet LLC. Not only have he helped out hundreds of people, but thousands of people. He's the number one guy to go to in the city when it comes to credit, man. Everybody know him, man. He's been in the game for a minute. He's been doing his things. He done showed the results, and he's telling you. What man gonna tell you how to deal with creditors? You know what I mean? They let you
Yeah.
know at the end of the day, he want good for you at the end of the day, man. You feel what I'm saying? At the end of the day, he want good for you at the end of the day. So definitely holler at my man and let him know how they can reach you, Dionte, if they wanted your service.
Yes, sir. Y'all can reach me at creditbulliesllc.org. There's a
Okay,
message icon that sends you directly to the business page. Either me or one of my employees will get back to you ASAP,
right.
and we'll go from there.
And let me ask you one more thing. So, to the people who has credit or good credit, uh,
Mhm.
I think a lot of people don't talk about credit counseling. Uh, After something has happened, such as your credit has just been, you got a person from a 560 to a 750. Do
Mhm.
you think counseling is important? Where, hey, you maybe can check on them every now and then. Hey, if something going on, or if they making a major decision, I think counseling could be a good thing when it comes to okay, because a lot of people will deal with you, get your credit together, and then leave you the hell alone. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? But you're still going to have answers. Man, you're still going to have questions. You're still going to think about what decisions I should make.
Yeah.
Will you be there for your clients when they do have them questions?
Absolutely. Every time. I don't think I ever turned away a client who was a client and no longer a client. People come back to me all the time just to ask me a question, and
Right,
if I can help you, I'm always here to help, because if you can win, then that looks good for you. So obviously, I'm definitely here for counseling. Sometimes you do have to counsel. Sometimes, Johnny, uh, I can do my end of my part on my credit repair journey, and your scores will reach the 750s because of me. And they didn't even get a chance to actually have the moment to build their credit and understand credit. That's when the
right,
counseling comes in. So teach people how to maintain it. But it
right,
also gonna come down to you guys maintaining uh what I'm telling you guys. So, I'm always here. Definitely for my previous clients and potential clients. Uh Definitely ask for help. Ask me questions if you have to. And I'll tell you what I know. And if I don't know it, I'm not gonna string you along and pretend like I do. So
right.
there you go.
Already, man. Well, we appreciate you, man.
Yes,
Deontay, we
sir.
definitely have you back, man. Believe
Yes,
that.
sir.
Credit Man LLC. Y'all go holler at my boy. He got a book out right now for $9.99. I'm quite sure that you can find out all about that at creditbulletllc.com, man. We appreciate you, my guy, once again, man.
Yes, sir. Appreciate you.